definitely having an issue at that particular time with the audio and some stuff that's been going on. But I do apologize again about the audio going on in part one, and the voice going in and out. But that's the part of the whole control thing. That's why that happened. That would kind of lead me into part two, because like, it's just the whole thought police thing. Like, I go through so much just to even get you guys these videos, and people like really don't know what it takes to really put out information like this. Like, like, you really have to give up your whole life and get reborn again to kind of like really, you decide, okay, I'm really going to be like one of the facilitators of this shift. Like, I'm really going to let my ego kind of go for right now and go ahead and really start to dig deep within myself so that I can find that part of me that can really facilitate this shift, or that part of me that really wants to separate from the matrix and the control, and strengthening that part of yourself, though. Strengthening that part of yourself to the point where when you're challenged, because you will be challenged by the opposite side. And when the opposite side challenges you, you have to be willing. And it's really no opposite side, it's an illusion actually, but they're going to see you as different, and you're going to attract the opposition, and you have to overcome it through your studies and through what you learn and through this information, by standing firm on what you're learning, standing firm on your cipher and the information that you've been processing and learning, and staying grounded and seasoned in what you stand for, even if it does really seriously lead to your demise and your death. Because you have to know as a person, and this is what they knew, back in the ancient Atlantean times, and even in Egypt, they really didn't discover it. They were more about, in Egypt, more about preserving the body, more so on the physical level, so that when it leaves the physical realm or the earthly realm, it can transfer its consciousness into the higher realm or into the higher level a lot easier, and be able to remember some of the experiences of this physical realm. See, that's the difference between death from Egypt and then in Sumeria. It wasn't really about focusing on dying, period. It was about more so focusing on becoming total consciousness, so that you could become a totally, like, really connecting the junk aspect of your DNA and repairing your DNA, even, and unlocking your DNA, and even unblocking it, even, so that you can experience new light code transmissions, new thought patterns, new thought waves, new colors, new vibrations, new auras, all of this stuff, so you can experience new consciousness in general, new people, new types of individuals, on the planet. It's to get you ready for that. That's the real difference. In order to get ready for this energy that's really here, if you want to live through it, you have to be open-minded, totally open-minded. Any rigidness, so you see, religion creates rigidness. You become a zealot, or you think, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like, it becomes more like that. Whereas in consciousness, it's that even if you do decide that you aren't going to do something, it's not because you're a zealot or some religious nut. It's because you know that this whatever thing that you're doing is not really necessary at this particular time, even for your path, for you going towards your life purpose and your life mission of who you are. And not from like a Christian pastor type of scenario, though. Like, I don't mean life purpose like, have you found God and have you discovered who you really are, and you're, and all of that. I mean, like, really on an operative level. Do you have a purpose in every hour of your day? Do you spend a lot of time idle, where you don't really have intent? How about when you meditate even? People say, well, I go to sleep when I'm meditating. That's because you didn't have an intent. Oh, I don't see nothing when I'm meditating. You didn't have an intent to see anything. You didn't project or even decide to see anything, or to hear anything, or to experience something, because you're afraid of your imagination. That's the fear. See, that's what they put into Egypt, and that's what made Egypt separate, because in Egypt, you notice the whole God and devil thing comes up more. It's this whole God, Set being the evil one or the rebellious one, and then God being more like Osiris or the noble one, and he believed in ruling in peace. And Set was a warrior, and Set was like, if it comes down to somebody having to shed blood for my cause to be furthered, I'm willing to do that, because he came from a different mentality. he came from a doctrine of more that's similar to Gnosticism or Manichaeism, whereas he felt that we were just all in vessels, and people that fight people or go against, like when you believe in something or you have a mission, a movement, and the people that fight you, if you just if they end up dying or something happens, or you or they confront you and you get into it with them and you end up killing them or taking them out or whatever, they felt like that was their karma, or that was their mission to come to you and to basically get murked off by you, and that was your mission and purpose to kill that particular person. So that's what they believed in Manichaeism. I know that sounds totally different from what we believe in the West, because they felt it wasn't that you would become a mass murderer and say, well, I'm just going to kill this person and take them out their misery, but it was more of the conflict thing, in war and in battle more so. When you were in war and battle, if you have to take lives, it's because the movement or the idea is bigger than human life. You can say, well, that's disrespect to human life. I don't want to kill any human life. Human life is always dying. You kill human life all the time. So to them, they were detached from the human body. The Sumerians were totally detached. They knew that it was more to life than this vessel. It's like some of us can remember our past lives vividly, man. Like you knew you was that, you was that architect or that carpenter in a past life, or you was that musician or that singer or that boxer or that whatever, or that hustler or that trapper, or that warrior or that soldier, or that, or that beautiful, or that bad chick, or that beautiful woman, or that housewife that made the best cheesecake. Like when you discover your life purpose, it helps you to live in this life a lot easier, because you like, I know I'm doing my life purpose. Like being a housewife may be your life purpose. Just like as a male, like being a stay-at-home dad, that may be your life purpose. And if you're in a situation where your life facilitates that, then don't go against the grain. Stop feeling shameless. That's what I've been telling myself a lot lately, like shameless, meaning that don't shame yourself so much. And feel like, I'm not doing right, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. A lot of times your life purpose is what's the easiest way for you. And then people say, well, no, you gotta struggle, you gotta fight, and fighting ain't easy. Sure, the people gonna fight you because of your life being easy. That's gonna be the fight, is the ease. People gonna attack you because you are in ease to bring this ease to you. But if it wasn't for these people attacking you, when you and your life purpose, because everything, it never feels like work, or everything feels like ease. Your life feels like ease. You may get stressed out, but you can go and do your art or do whatever it is that makes you happy, and you'll forget about everything instantly. Some people don't have that outlet. Some people, they feel that with their children. That's your life purpose, to be a parent. It may not be the dominant, how much money I'm making is my life purpose. It's not always about that. So, and that's unlimited progress though, because that's not taught. In this society, is taught to gain, to get ahead, to step on someone's toes, or step on somebody's head so that you can get to the next level. If they climbing up a ladder and you right up, step above them, step on their head so they can't get to the top of the ladder with you. Like, yeah, like that's how it is in this world now. And that's based on competition. That's really that's a slower vibration to a conscious person. Because a conscious person knows that everything's an illusion. Why do I have to compete for everything when it's all here? It's all here on the earth. I got it right now. If you got it, I got it. Even if I ain't got it in my pocket, don't mean I gotta take it or anything. But if you got it, I got it. Meaning that if I look at everything like a community, I'm gonna attract everything I need. Working as an alchemist and working with the mind. So I don't have to compete or to separate, but until people don't see that. And you wonder why like people get attacked. That's why I have a message of love and peace. And what I talk about, it definitely represents love and peace, but I'm also a street ass nigga too. And I realized that you have to be a soldier and a hustler, and you got to be able to and a manipulator even to make it through this matrix, because they, on that side, they ain't playing fair. On the other side, they ain't playing fair, meaning that when I say the other side, those people that are in power now, the elitists, they know that there's no karma associated. Once you find your life purpose, whatever you do, and this is going to sound super radical, they probably ain't going to like this part too, but whatever you do, you can't be judged for it. Real talk, whatever you do, you can't be judged for it. So don't let anybody tell you anything different. And that's only if you believe that though. So you can hear me say that and say, oh, Ron, who said one else said I can't be judged, and go and do X, Y, Z, and you get caught up in a scenario that you don't like, and then now you regret hearing me say that. And I'm not saying that in respect to that. I'm saying that if you know in your heart that this is what you're supposed to be doing, and you willing to basically experience anything in your life so that you can continue to do whatever it is that you're doing that makes you happy or that you feel like is your life purpose, then you can't be judged for what the things that you experience in it. It's all just an experience. And if you keep an open mind like that, you'll notice that you won't attract as much negativity. Here I am, I'm a pretty fairly dark male, for the most part, and I'm not always around a lot. I'm not always in the hood all the time. And I'm around a lot of, people that are so-called Caucasian or Europeans and things of that nature. And some people say you get stereotyped being a black person in certain areas or whatever. But I'm saying I don't attract a lot of that. Now, don't get me wrong. I have situations with law enforcement and all of that all the time. So I'm not saying that I don't have to confront or deal with them. But even when I deal with them, I don't look at it from the negative perspective. So a lot of things that we get ourselves into is because we are taught to be a certain way. And we look at it's our mind. And we look at things from a negative so-called perspective. So that's what... This is also relevant to the culture of Sumeria and Egypt. See, that's what made Sumeria and Egypt different, is because in Egypt, that's what was taught. It was that fear-based doctrine of thinking that this is the bad guy and these people are bad. So then therefore that creates fear, because you're looking at things like as separate mentally, and you have it programmed in you that some people on the outside of you are bad. Whereas in Sumeria, they would have taught that you have to reprogram your own mind. And if a bad situation comes to you, you may experience things that are bad, that are not good for you. It's not to say that you won't use the term bad, but it's that you don't know when a bad situation comes to you, that's yourself creating a challenge for yourself from the outside of you. So what you see on the outside coming at you, no matter how bad it looks, I don't care if it's your murderer or your potential murderer coming at you or your potential rapist coming at you, for those ladies out there. And I don't mean that in any bad way, but you got to know that that's your self-centered. This is your challenge. Now it's time for you to stand up as a warrior and as a soldier to confront that. Because that's the 12 doctrine. When you're in the 12 doctrine, that was the Egyptian doctrine. And the opposite too, of course, they believed in controlling the mind through thought. So they were thought police more so in Egypt. They weren't really like putting people in jail and all of that. It wasn't about physical slavery even. I want to make that clear. So they were still a progressive society, but it was the introduction to thought police, because you had to think a certain way still. And they were strict on thoughts. Very strict. So much so to the point where they cut themselves off from outside cultures and how they thought. It was all about the way they thought. And if you try to bring something from outside culture, you wouldn't be allowed in. So they were in control like that. But that eventually led to separation, because this was a new idea. The original Egyptians, if you notice, were Sets. If you notice, Set was older, or Sutuk was older than his brother, if you study the history. Which means that if he was older, this means that the rebellious way that he was, this was the original way. See, this was the Atlantean way. This is what I'm saying here. The Sumerians, they were natural radicals. They were like badasses, man. The Atlanteans were like bad. The Sumerians and all that, even original Egyptians were OGs, for real. They were original gangsters. Like, they did a lot of, when they was walking through those gates or going through those different dimensions all on this planet, but playing out, controlling the planet and rolling the dice basically is what they learned how to do, to make scenarios play out on the planet at different times on different parts of the planet. That's what the Egyptians was into. They was badasses, man. And that's why they was like, it eventually led to a quarantine, because it got to a point where it was like, yo, like if we continue to let them be like this, these Atlanteans, these advanced Sumerians or whatever, like the, like as the people started to watch this or whatever, even some of the outside elders from other planets, and what's called the Galactic Federation or the Council, and I'll talk more about that. I've made other videos talking about the Galactic Federation, but I'll go more into that. But even those particular characters or whatever in the Galactic Federation, those figures, they were like, man, we got to shut this down. So that's what it eventually led to with the whole Atlantis thing. So that's why they trained up these Egyptian, what they really started out as priests, that brought in the rabbi system. This is where you get all of that type of stuff comes from, and the whole structure of religious culture being based on the number 12, even the 12 zodiac, which is not the original zodiac. It's actually based on the number 13. The flower of life is the original zodiac. I have to do a video on the flower of life, but those of you that know what it is know the flower of life is the original zodiac. So it's a lot that could be said. It's about separating yourself, connecting with that inner being and that inner light inside of you. I got to go ahead and shut down now because this video never dropped. But I thank you guys for listening to both parts. I'm going to go ahead and shut down until we meet again. As always, man, like stay tough, stay grounded. Don't let them scare you off, yo. Peace.